No, I really got to spend quality time with my parents, thanks to you, Sally. My husband beamed at me as he reported this, and I smiled back, hiding my anger. My name is Sally. This year, I'm in my late 20s and a full-time housewife. I met my husband Michael when we started working at the same company as new graduates. I was drawn to Michael's cheerful personality and gradually got closer to him. We started dating and got married after about 3 years. When we got married, Michael revealed that he was the son of the company's president. I'm still inexperienced, but I intend to take over the company someday. I want you to support me when that time comes. So, I'd like you to quit your job and take care of the house, he said. As a result, I quit my job and became a full-time housewife. However, once I became a housewife, Michael began to make more condescending remarks. From now on, I'll give you an allowance for living expenses. You'll have to manage with that. $600. This isn't enough for food for both of us. What? We don't have kids yet, so it should be enough. My salary isn't that high yet, and just because you're going to be the president's wife, don't expect to be pampered. That's not what I meant. Anyway, make it work. I'm working for you, after all. Michael continued to disregard my concerns and only gave me $600 a month, never providing anything beyond that. Of course, $600 was far from enough for the two of us, so I had to dip into my savings to cover the shortfall. Michael always compared me to his mother whenever I couldn't do something right. He would report it to his father, who would say, "You're complaining over such small things. You need to be more patient as a wife. Your mother worked hard too, so you need to do the same," and then Michael would relay those words to me. My parents had already passed away, and without Michael's social skills, I had very few close friends. The only times I met my in-laws and Michael's younger brother, Heath, were during the initial introductions and our wedding. Believing Michael's words, I thought my in-laws saw me as an inadequate wife and avoided interacting with them. Unable to confide in anyone, our marriage continued for over 2 years. Around that time, Michael started claiming he was busier at work, staying late more often, and bringing work home. Amidst this, Michael suddenly announced a family trip. I've been so busy, but I want to take my parents on a trip. I haven't been able to be a good son to them, and I think it's time they had a break. If it's a family trip, shouldn't I come too? No, what are you talking about? You're still an inadequate wife, you'd just ruin the mood. You stay home and look after the house. When you become a perfect wife like my mother, I'll take you along. I understand. I replied, feeling sad but convinced that my shortcomings were the problem. And then came the day of the trip. Don't slack off on the housework while I'm gone. And don't indulge yourself just because I'm not here, Michael warned me before he left excitedly. I wasn't included in the family trip. Feeling down, I continued with the housework as Michael had instructed, when I received a call from an unknown number on my cell phone. At first, I planned not to answer, but the calls kept coming at intervals. Maybe something had happened to Michael. Thinking this, I decided to answer the next call. Hello? Oh, is this Sally? Yes, who's calling? Sorry for the sudden call. This is Heath, Michael's younger brother. I was momentarily at a loss for words, surprised by the unexpected caller. Could it be that something had happened to Michael or his parents, and Heath had been informed? Did something happen to Michael? Oh, is my brother at home? I've been trying to reach him but couldn't get through. Michael is on a family trip right now. A family trip? Oh, are you away with him then? I'm sorry for interrupting your trip. No, it's not with me. Michael went with his parents. What? With our parents? Both of them are at work today. What? I said, confused by the contradiction. So, he told you he was going on a family trip with our parents? Yes, he said he wanted to be a good son after a long time. He told me I wasn't needed because I'm an inadequate wife. Has he told you things like that before, making you avoid our family? Well, yes. Michael said my in-laws were dissatisfied with me because I was an inadequate wife, so I avoided seeing them. Heath let out a deep sigh. I see. And Michael is supposed to return the day after tomorrow? Yes, that's what he told me. All right. I have a hunch about something, so could you help me out? Heath asked. Yes, I understand. Then, first. I ended the call and started to follow Heath's instructions. As a result, it became clear that Michael was having an affair. It's confirmed that he's cheating. I'm sorry, Sally, for all of this. No, it's good to know the truth. When Michael gets back, I'll make sure he explains everything and takes responsibility. What do you plan to do? Determined, I replied. I don't want to let this slide. I intend to resolve this clearly. When I told him once and for all, I felt my brother-in-law on the other end of the phone laugh. I was glad to hear that. I can also do it without hesitation. Let's have a strategy meeting for the day after tomorrow. I had a lot to discuss with my brother-in-law over the phone. 2 days later. Wow, what a great trip! I finally got to spend some quality time with my parents, and I feel refreshed. This will definitely help me work harder. Thanks for holding down the fort, Sally. It's all thanks to you. I see. Well, now I need you to take care of this. What? What is this? What do you mean? It's a divorce application and the amount for alimony. What? What's this all about? Don't you know? Michael pointed at the documents in a panic, so I said, what? It's the divorce papers and the alimony amount. What? What's this about? What's it about? Don't you have any idea? At my words, Michael stiffened for a moment. What are you talking about? Michael tried to play dumb, so I added, oh, and you got disowned by your family. What do you mean? Don't lie to me. Well, I guess you think it's a lie. Anyway, let's go right now. Michael's mouth fell open at my words. Go? Where to? To your parents' house, of course. Now, get ready quickly. When I hurried Michael, he followed me, still not fully understanding. We drove straight to his parents' house, and I led Michael inside. Mom, Dad, I'm sorry to bother you today, but please bear with us. It's all right, Sally, we've put you through so much, we're the ones who should apologize. Seeing me and his mother talking amicably, Michael's eyes went wide in confusion. Mom, why? Why are we getting along? Because a lot of misunderstandings have been cleared up in the past few days. His mother glared sharply at Michael. We'll talk about that later, for now, just sit down. Under his mother's strict tone, Michael sat uncomfortably on a chair in the living room. After waiting for a while, Michael's younger brother and his wife arrived. The last time I saw my sister-in-law was at my wedding. Michael's brother and his wife had married a few years before us. Even though I was older and technically an elder sister-in-law, she had always fit in much better with the family. She was sociable, and I envied that about her. It seemed she didn't know why she was brought here either and was looking around restlessly, surprised to see us. Now that everyone is here, let's have a family meeting. Michael's brother began. You know why we're here today, don't you, Michael? What? I have no idea. You went on a family trip for 3 days, right? Who did you go with? Well. You told Sally you wanted to do something nice for your parents, didn't you? Funny thing is, Mom and Dad were with me the whole time you were gone. Michael's brother pressed on. With our parents and me present, Michael couldn't lie and was left mumbling. I never thought you'd go on a family trip with my wife, his brother said, placing some photos on the table. Michael and Amy, his brother's wife, looked shocked. The photos showed Michael holding hands affectionately with Amy, the two of them laughing with his hand on her waist, and even kissing boldly on the street. Where did you get these? To the flustered Michael and Amy, his brother replied, I know a private investigator through work. It was expensive on short notice, but he did a great job, didn't he? Well, but what about the destination? Oh, Sally found that out. The detective was grateful because he quickly figured out where you were staying. At his brother's words, Michael glared at me. In the past, that would have scared me, but now I strangely felt nothing. I knew your computer passwords, the email address and password registered on the travel booking site, everything. I could find out immediately. You know why, don't you? I said, and Michael awkwardly looked away. His brother looked at Michael in disbelief. Going after your own brother's wife, what a great hobby you have. Of course, we're getting a divorce. We'll be seeking alimony from both of you. What? That can't be true, right? Amy pleaded with his brother, but he looked at her coldly. Of course, it's true. Do you think I can stay married to someone who had an affair with my brother? I'll give you some time, but pack your things and leave soon. Amy clung to his brother. No. It's different, I was threatened by my brother-in-law. That's why I had no choice but to go on the trip. Hey! Don't make things up. You were the one who came on to me. Shut up. I don't care about you. You said I was better than Heath. That was just lip service. As their argument escalated, their father thundered, "Be quiet, both of you," and they finally fell silent. We'll discuss Heath's divorce and alimony later. So, Sally, what will you do? I gave the answer I had decided on. Of course, I'm getting a divorce too. And I'll be seeking alimony from both of them. What? This can't be real. Not a lie. I told you before we came here, I said, and Michael sneered at me. How do you plan to live without me? You can barely handle housework, and you're terrible at managing money. You have no parents to rely on, so if you leave me now, you'll be in dire straits immediately. I'll be fine. I've already found a new job. What? To the astonished Michael, his father explained. Sally will be working at our company again. What's going on? You lied to Sally, saying you were working overtime, but you were bringing unfinished work home and having Sally help you. Michael flinched at his father's words. About a year ago, Michael started claiming he had more overtime work, coming home late, and bringing unfinished work home. Sally, can you help me with this? But I'm not part of the company anymore. Still, you used to work there, so you know how things are done, right? If this keeps up, I'll work myself to death. Please. After repeated requests from Michael, I reluctantly started doing his work at home. That's why I knew all his computer passwords and the email address and password for the travel booking site. You've never done overtime, Michael. I was impressed with the quality of your work over the past year, but that was because Sally was doing it. Shut up. I did that work. Sally had nothing to do with it. Michael retorted, his face red with embarrassment. It was clearly not your work. I wanted to believe you had improved, but I realized too late. I'm sorry for Sally. You didn't do anything wrong, Dad. Please. No one would expect an outsider to be doing the work. Exactly. It's unheard of to let someone quit their job and then conveniently use them after they've left. His brother added, with biting sarcasm, making Michael's face turn red again. You, watch your mouth. When I become president, I'll fire you immediately. Michael yelled at his brother, who remained unfazed. Brother, how can you still think you'll inherit the company in this situation? What? What do you mean? I'm the eldest son, of course I'm the heir. At Michael's words, their mother sighed. I didn't realize you were this foolish. Where did we go wrong in raising you? What, Mom? I'm the eldest son, so I'm the heir, right? Michael, you are the eldest, but we never raised you to think you would automatically inherit everything just because of that. Michael's eyes widened at his mother's words. What? But. Of course, you were the closest to being the heir as the eldest. But we can't make someone without capability the president, for the sake of our employees. I can do it. I'm the eldest, and I have the skills. Michael's father glared at him. Skills? You neglect your own work, push it onto your wife, and have an affair with your brother's wife, and you call that skills? You should be ashamed. At his father's scolding, Michael's face turned pale. Brother, I always suspected your affair, but it was confirmed because I contacted Sally. Do you know why I reached out to her? His brother asked. Michael frowned in confusion. I had something urgent I needed to confirm with you, brother. You've been cooking the books at our company, haven't you? At his brother's words, Michael's face turned even paler. No, I don't know what you're talking about. Don't bother denying it. We've already got the evidence. You were pressuring the office staff with promises like I'll promote you when I become president, right? I was planning to make it up once I became president. It's just future payment for work. There's no such thing as future payment. Michael's father roared again at his selfish excuses. There's no such thing as future payment. Besides, you have no chance of a promotion now. If you want to advance, do it at another company. What do you mean? It means you're fired. Because of the money I took. It was just a little. It's not about the amount, but you took over $100,000. That's not just a little. What did you use the money for? Well. As Michael hesitated, his brother laughed. You probably used it for your affair and gambling. You've always been short-sighted, brother. This whole incident just proves it. Michael glared at his brother, shouting, "You bastard," and lunged at him. His brother dodged swiftly, grabbed Michael's arm, and threw him with an over-the-shoulder throw. No! Michael hit the ground hard, letting out a pained scream. That was self-defense, right? It's ridiculous to lash out just because you're told the truth. If anyone should be angry, it's me. His brother looked down coldly at Michael, who was curled up on the floor. Michael, Heath has always respected you as the eldest son. We've also tried to respect you as much as possible. But after what you've done, we can't keep you in the company anymore. Michael listened silently to his mother's words. And you've been lying to keep Sally and us away, haven't you? To keep your lies from being discovered. Do you understand how much Sally has suffered because of you? At his mother's words, I felt tears welling up. When I found out Michael had gone on an affair trip, Heath asked me to come to his parents' house. But It's okay. Dad and Mom don't think badly of you. We really want you to come. All right, I'll come today then. Despite Heath's reassurance, I was nervous as I headed to their house, but Michael's parents were very concerned about me. We're so sorry about our son. As soon as we met, Michael's father apologized and I panicked. No. I'm a failure as a wife too. Is that what Michael's been saying? I nodded. Yes. He gives me an allowance for living expenses, but I can't manage it well. He said Mom could do it perfectly and that Dad thinks I'm an unbearable wife. It scared me. At my confession, Michael's parents exchanged looks. Neither of us has ever said anything like that. We were told that you didn't want to see us because you didn't get along with us. I never said that. I thought you didn't like me, so I was too afraid to come here. I hurriedly denied it, and Michael's mother sighed heavily. It must be that Michael lied about a lot of things. He probably thought it would be inconvenient if we contacted each other. I'm sorry for our foolish son. No, it's... So, Sally, what do you want to do? Feel free to speak your mind. With his mother's gentle encouragement, I decided to express my true intentions. I want a divorce. And I want to receive alimony as compensation. When I said this, Michael's parents didn't get angry. Instead, they said they would support me. As we continued talking with Michael's parents and brother, we all discovered that I had been doing Michael's work and that Michael had been embezzling money from the company. Michael's parents were very concerned about me, especially since I had no parents of my own. I realized that while my relationship with them wouldn't have existed without Michael, it was Michael who tried to distance me from them. My feelings towards Michael had turned into nothing but resentment. "You're fired from our company, and we're cutting ties with you. You are no longer welcome to cross this threshold." Michael looked devastated. "Don't say that, Mom. I'll reflect and work hard." "You're not a child anymore. You've long passed the point where words like that would be enough. Now, get out." Michael looked shocked but then turned to me. "Sally, you won't abandon me, right? You've always helped me, haven't you? I won't cheat again, so let's start over, okay?" He reached out to me, but I slapped his hand away. "Stop it. I'm not helping you anymore. I've realized you're not worth it. Stay away from me." Michael looked shocked, probably because it was the first time I had rejected him. Michael, now like a shell of his former self, was taken away by his brother along with the still silent Amy. I divorced Michael without meeting him again. Since I didn't want to see him, I left everything to the lawyer, who had been introduced by Michael's parents. As expected, Michael refused the divorce. "Sally is just being stubborn right now. She must want to get back together with me. I won't divorce her until I see her." Michael insisted. His brother was the one who convinced him. He was about to become a stalker. I told him I'd drop my alimony claim if he agreed to the divorce, so he reluctantly signed the papers. Maybe he thought he could get back together with Amy since I also told him I was getting a divorce. His brother explained with a wry smile. He also secured a promise to prohibit Michael from contacting me. I couldn't thank his brother enough. Amy, after divorcing his brother, apparently returned to her hometown. Her parents covered her alimony in exchange for placing her under their supervision. Later, Michael disappeared before paying off the alimony he owed me. Since I didn't expect much from the alimony anyway, it wasn't a significant loss. However, seeing his parents apologize for it hurt much more. As Michael's presence faded from my life, I happened to pass by someone who looked like him in town. At first, I didn't recognize him. He was wearing shabby clothes, his hair was unkempt, and he reeked of alcohol even in broad daylight. When I turned to look at the strong odor, I noticed his face resembled Michael's, which startled me. I observed him discreetly and recognized his walk and gestures. It was probably Michael. Without noticing me, he staggered off somewhere. When Michael disappeared, both his parents and his brother said they wouldn't search for him anymore. They were truly determined to cut ties with him. So, I decided to keep this to myself and not say anything unnecessary. Now, I work at Michael's parents' company. Since I had been doing Michael's work, I took over the tasks he was handling. Only a few people knew I was married to Michael, so I occasionally heard rumors about him. The eldest son of this company is a real piece of work. I was so relieved when I heard the younger son would take over. Was he really that bad? Oh, absolutely. He abused his power, harassed people, and even embezzled company funds. It would have been a disaster if he had become president. Apparently, Michael not only embezzled but also pushed his work onto others and sexually harassed female employees, all while claiming he would be president. The employees hesitated to report him because the company owners were good people. His brother was the only one who tried to keep Michael in check, but Michael wouldn't listen. I was appalled at myself for not realizing what a terrible person he was. A year later, I gave birth to a child. A few months after the divorce, I found out I was pregnant. Of course, the father was Michael. At first, I was unsure if I should have the baby. I had just returned to work, and I was worried if I could love a child whose father was Michael. But I realized that no matter who the father was, this was still my child. I decided to have the baby. When I consulted with Michael's parents, they were delighted. Of course, you can use maternity leave and parental leave. We'll support you before and after the birth. Have a healthy baby. Mother-in-law said, and I cried in front of her. When I gave birth safely, His parents and brother adored the baby. "Oh my, you're looking healthy today. Let's go for a walk with Grandma. Sally, you must be sleep deprived, so take a good rest now. Hey, I'm here too, so don't hog the grandchild. I want to spend time with my niece too." "It's not fair, Mom." Seeing the three of them doting on the baby made me feel truly happy. "Sally, how are you feeling?" "I'm fine, thank you. I'd like you to be more relaxed around me. I'm younger than you, after all." Right. I mean, okay. Feel free to rely on us more. You've already done so much. I can't thank you enough." "Well, I'd like you to rely on me specifically," brother-in-law said, and I saw his face turn a little red. Michael put me through a lot, but meeting his parents and Heath is something I'm truly grateful for.